I seen today on someone's news feed that they passed that tax reform bill. So I don't normally believe what I read in those news clippings. I normally like to come to the congressional record and read what was said in in deciding how to pass this bill and if this bill was passed fairly. So yesterday, November the 15th, Wednesday, in the congressional record, I'm going to scroll down to page H. Is it 9629? 9629. These congressional records are really informative. They tell you, you can read about everything that they talk about in their sessions, pending that there's no no amendments or corrections made to the document. And here, a lot of our elected officials are talking about reject the tax reform bill, and others are talking about, some Republicans are in support of it. So, he's talking about, Mr. Dunn is talking about that the tax code is more than 70,000 pages of opaque rules and regulations that cost Americans money and jobs in critical ways. Our tax code give explicit economic advantage to our foreign competitors. I'm sorry, y'all. That changes with this bill. Okay, well, let me get back down here. It's 9269. That was on 66. This if you like to go on this page, and it's just if you have time. This document is 184 pages long. So, oh, here it is right here. This is page of the congressional record from November the 15th. And up under here, I'm going to have to pull it up some because the text, looking at it through my phone, is little. And I want you to be able to see exactly what I'm reading. And it's right here. Providing for consideration of H.R. 1, Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, and providing for proceedings during the period from November 17th, 2017 through November 24th, 2017. Mr. Sessions is the person who's speaking, and he's addressing the speaker. By direction of the Committee on Rules, I call up House Resolution 619 and ask for its immediate consideration. The clerk read the resolution as follows. And this is the resolution that they used to pass this bill. I knew they was going to attach it to another resolution to get it passed. I knew that. Okay, if you all can see that, I'm gonna sit this here for a minute, and only on important parts of it, I'm gonna I'll step in and read it. It says right here, the previous question shall be considered as ordered on the bill as amended and on any further amendments thereto to final passage without intervening motions except, number 1, 4 hours of debate equally divided and controlled by the chair and ranking minority member of the Committee on Ways and Means, and number 2, let me pull it up some, and number 2, 1 motion to recommit with or without instruction. Clause 5B of a rule shall not apply to the bill or amendment thereto. Section 2. Upon passage of H.R. 1, the amendment to the title of such bill recommended by the Committee on Ways and Means, now printed in the bill, shall be considered as adopted. Section 3. On any legislative day during the periods from November 17, 2017 through November 27, 2017. A. The journal of the proceedings of the previous day shall be considered as approved, and B. The chair may at any time declare House adjourned to meet at a date and time within the limits of Clause 4, Section 5, Article 1 of the Constitution, to be announced by the chair in declaring the adjournment. Number 4, this is important because this is what I was telling you about. The Speaker may appoint members. The Speaker, Paul Ryan, may appoint members to perform the duties of the chair for the duration of the period addressed by Section 3 of this resolution, as though under Clause 8A of the Rule 1. The Speaker tempore, the gentleman from Texas is recognized for 1 hour, which is Mr. Session. And Mr. Session is basically discussing his objections to this rule. And this portion is important because he's telling us some important stuff in here. And he said, Mr. Speaker, for the purpose of debate only, I yield the customary 30 minutes to the gentleman from Florida, Mr. Hastings, my dear friend, pending which I yield myself such time as I may consume. During consideration of this resolution, all time yielded is for the purpose of debate only. And then on 9270, Mr. Sessions is addressing the Speaker. I ask unanimous consent that all members have 5 legislative days to revise and extend their remarks. The Speaker pro tempore, is there objection to the request of the gentleman from Texas? There were no objections. Mr. Speaker, I want to start by saying that I would offer my thanks and collegial admiration and respect to the members of the Rules Committee who last night once again on an expedited basis spent time devoted to the duty that they have not only to their party but also to the House of Representatives, acting on behalf of the American people. Right here. The gentlewoman, Miss Slaughter. The gentleman, hold on, I can't see this. The gentleman, Mr. Hastings, the gentleman, Mr. Polis, and certainly our friend from Worcester, Massachusetts, the gentleman, Mr. McGovern, conducted themselves not only in the highest spirit, but they also produced what I believe was a fair argument, a product that they could be proud of. Each of the witnesses that came before us included Democratic members of Congress and Republican members of Congress, provided, I believe, top-notch testimony and information on behalf of their ideas. I personally want to thank Judge Hastings for his time last night, which was late into the night and today. My admiration and respect for his collegial activity is to be respected and appreciated. Mr. Speaker, I rise today in support of this rule and the underlying legislation. The rule provides for consideration of H.R. 1, the Tax Cut and Job Act. Last November, the November which was 1 year ago, the American people spoke, and they spoke clearly. I believe they stood up and demanded change and action on our economy. They demanded an increase in understanding about America's lacking GDP growth, and they saw all across the country companies, that continue to move overseas. They saw movement in our economy where people move from state to another, seeking better opportunities. Excuse me. I believe that the people have spoken. We not only heard that, but we are trying to make decisions now that would not only help every single area of the country by picking those businesses, by picking those businesses that might be in the city, in the town and location that they want to be, but by infusing them with the opportunity to stay because they can not only make a go of it, but they can be competitive in the world market. Now, what they did was they lowered the taxes for these corporations. In the meantime, they raised our taxes. So let me go down here to page 9271. And let's go on to was this the one?